Alright guys, and welcome back to Grand Theft Auto 5. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Declasse Drift Tampa. This is one of the newest cars added by the Cunning Stunts DLC, and of course it was one of the latest, being that it was added after the initial update. It is based off of the Declasse Tampa, so it is rear wheel drive. Of course, this is a sports class vehicle instead of a muscle car class vehicle, and it is very reminiscent of Ken Block's Unicorn 1965 Ford Mustang. However, Ken Block's Mustang is all-wheel drive, while this is only rear-wheel drive. Taking some looks at it, and we can see that it has wide flared wheel arches, a ducktail spoiler, roof scoop, and some intake piston type devices on the bonnet or hood. Also has a big front splitter and some crazy logos and designs on the outside of the car. It also has a rear diffuser, so it makes it look as if it's very aggressive and race-like. So it's got the looks, but does it actually have the performance? And having driven around for a while with this car, I can say that yes, it's fast. However, when you do go to drift it, it does kind of, fishtail quite a lot, and sometimes if you overcorrect it, you will end up facing the wrong way. However, it's a hell of a lot of fun, and it is probably one of the best cars added by this DLC. What I would like to do is drive this car for a while, once while unmodified, and again while fully modified, to see if it can actually drift well in both forms, or if you need it to modify it before you can actually pull some good angle and get some good drifts. But I have a feeling that that's not going to be the case, because this vehicle is really well balanced and it's a lot of fun. It also can change direction really good, and it doesn't get unstable, and that's due to the fact that it's so low to the ground, and it really, it's probably one of the best handling cars I've driven in a while. It's very enjoyable, and you can get a lot of good angle and a lot of good stylish drifts with this vehicle. However, you usually need to be carrying a lot of speed if you want to get those larger angled drifts. And that guy was a twat. He should have been given way to me. And now my car's fucking damaged. That is one drawback of this vehicle. It's very easily damaged. And to be perfectly honest, it doesn't look anywhere near as good once it has sustained some damage. There he is there again. Do 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 do. Dee 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 dee. Fucking tosser. But it's an exceptionally good car. However, the windows are quite big, so if you're using this against other players, you could easily get shot out of it. So just be very careful. Also, the police, their cars are much stronger than this vehicle, so they can push you around quite easily. However, it's still probably one of the best looking. So, I've been driving it around for, a couple of minutes before I started recording, and one of the things I did find is, at low speed, it's very hard to initialize a drift. So I'm just going to take it up into this car park and actually see if it is, true, or if I just wasn't initializing the drifts correctly. It's so balanced. Jesus. I feel like your man out of Tokyo Drift. Fucking sideways up through the parking garage. Oh. And it shoots flames. That's all you need. Oh, fuck it. Yep, I totally am the guy from Tokyo Drift. I'm literally just yanking on the e-brake and I've fucking damaged my car. This thing is actually incredibly good. Some more high-powered sports cars and stuff could easily spin around if you do correct it too much, whereas this car, because it's so low and because it's so balanced, it feels flawless whenever you actually start to throw it around. It's nice. Like even if you're a novice user and you do enjoy drifting, I would actually say that this would be a very easy car to learn. Obviously, it's not a very cheap car. It does come in at about $995,000. So it's not exactly, you know, accessible in some people's budgets. You know, I've already had some players kind of look at it in awe whenever they see it. It's like, what car is this? Where the hell can I get one? Or they see it and they kind of go, fuck, I can't afford that. You know, so it is unfortunate that these cars are so expensive. A lot of players won't actually get the opportunity to experience them. However, when you do, some of them are actually a very good experience. Other ones, you know, it's a premature kind of experience. It lasts an hour, then you get bored of the car, and to be perfectly honest, whoops, it is. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think I'd be easily bored of this vehicle. You know, it's a lot of fun to drift. I always have enjoyed drifting on this game, hence why I have basically a full garage full of muscle cars. You know, it's just something I've always enjoyed doing, and this car brings together two worlds. You know, sports car agility, sports car handling, and the muscle car ability to drift, and I really do like that. So it's phenomenally good. But I'm going to take it to the customs shop, modify it fully in terms of brakes, engine, turbocharger, transmission, and then I'll get it back out on track. Get it back out on the fucking streets. However, I'm not actually going to show you inside the custom shops, simply because there's no different performance modifications to show off, and also there's no body modifications available for this vehicle. So I'll see you back in a second. Okay, so that there is the car fully modified. I was having a small look around within the wheel category. If you want to retain the ability to have racing slicks on your vehicle, you must keep the stock alloy wheels. If you change those, you lose the racing slicks. So in my opinion, you know, the car just doesn't look as good without them. So, you know, that is a big problem with this car that I currently have. Other than that, it is, you know, it's exceptionally beautiful. You know, it looks amazing. Like from day one, whenever I first saw Ken Block's Unicorn, it was like, fucking hell, that is class looking. And it's the same as this. It's something we don't normally see in Grand Theft Auto Online. And, you know, it's just a nice change. But anyway, let's go for a drive and see if this car performs any differently when fully modified. Oh yeah. It already feels a lot more lively. Quite enjoying this. Oh yeah. Because it's actually gaining more speed more quickly, you find there is no problem of getting up the required speed to actually initiate a drift. It also accelerates much faster, and it feels so much more lively and aggressive. Oh, this is a lot. Oh, this is so much fun. Big skids there. It's amazing. This car slides a lot more than usual. It is simply amazing. Bigger skids are better skids, unless they're in your pants. This car is phenomenal. It's a lot of fun. However, the performance modifications cost a lot of money, so if you buy this car and you've got nothing left, it's not like you're not going to be able to have fun. Just save up a bit more money. It's just a wee bit more fun with the performance upgrades. They're not necessary. Oh, whoops. Kinda got it wrong. So easy to initiate some sort of skid. You know, just a quick flick of the brakes, quick pull on the happy handle, and it puts the car into a nice slide. And hopefully we can see more high quality cars like this in Grand Theft Auto 5 in the future. And that doll deserved to die. She did. She should not have been driving like such an idiot. Like such a maniac. This is a disgrace. You should be driving to match your road conditions. This is a fucking joke. Anyway, getting back to it and not actually doing much drifting. Oh, fucking shit the bed. That was his fault again. See, I don't make errors like that. You know. shouldn't be pulling up safely to a road junction like that. Yes, fabulous. This car is fucking unreal. Probably the most fun car they've ever added into Grand Theft Auto Online. Don't park your fucking car there. God damn it. Getting in my fucking way. Really rags my shite. This is unbelievable. Normally there aren't any cars spawned up there, so you have plenty of room. However, with these new modifications I do find that you require a lot more room to actually enjoy this car. You know, beforehand it wasn't getting up enough speed to actually be dangerous. You know, in a sense that now it's quite a lot faster in terms of 0 to 60 time and in terms of actually getting up to the car's maximum speed. So you do lose that ability to drift effectively in close and tight corners. Yes, yes. Feels really good. Yes. That was a bit of a mistake. I do find that whenever there's a lot of traffic, drifting is a lot more difficult. However, with this car, doesn't matter. You're still having a lot of fun with it. You know, I was going to ask the question, can this drift? And I would say, yeah, it kinda can. You know, in a sense that most cars can drift in this game. Even the front wheel drive ones for some reason, but then they snap back with understeer. But, you know, a lot of cars can drift in this game, but I don't think any of them would be able to do it quite as well as this one. You know, it just has a feel for it that a lot of other cars don't actually have. You know, things like the Sabre Turbo will drift no problem, but that's because they have basically zero traction. Whereas this car has so much traction, but you can still throw it around. You know, like if you had a car like the Pro Gen T20, you know, it has about the same amount of traction as this vehicle. You can barely drift it, whereas this one has all the traction in the world, and you can still throw it about like some sort of wee toy. And it's just amazing. You know, it's probably one of the only cars I would ever say, yeah, spending $995,000 is actually worth it. You know, like I had the X80 Proto, fun for the first 2 days, then everyone blows the fucking thing up. You realise you wasted $2.7 million that you'll never get back. Whereas this car here, it's a fraction of the price, and to be perfectly honest, you can throw it around and have a hell of a lot more fun with it. So I highly recommend you actually buy this car if you're looking for something fun, and hopefully you will share the same mentality that I do in regards to how much fun you can have with this car and the longevity of that actual fun. You know, we've seen it before with the Pro Gen T20, the Osiris, two cars that are based off of real life variants who have high top speed, lots of traction, lots of handling performance. But then 2 weeks later, there's another car out, which is based off another real life car and has everything that they have, but on a higher, better, more extreme scale. You know, so this is amazing for the time being, and I dare say it'll probably still be one of the more fun and one of the more interesting cars, but they'll probably bring out something that'll beat it. Obviously it'll be a lot more expensive than this, but I don't think ever in a million years will it look as good as this. And that was one of the things that as soon as I saw the trailer, it was like, I have to own that car. You know, it looks amazing. And, you know, it resembles what is great about the car industry in the sense that it shows off creativity and some sort of art. But definitely if you're looking for a car you can actually have a lot of fun with, this is one for you. Oh. How the fuck did I feel that? Ah, cheeky bastard. But anyway guys, I can say it is one of the best cars that I've driven. I don't know about you, but I dare say you have a hell of a lot of fun with this car. But Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.